Everyone, I'm Dara Howard, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm in the biomed track at Central, and I will be working on a methodology thesis this year. Currently, my running title for my thesis is UV-independent melanin production, review of alternate tanning solutions. And what that kind of means in a nutshell is that I'm coming up with a different way of tanning that doesn't use the sun or any sort of artificial UV radiation. I've done a lot of research this summer over all the different types of tanning that are commonly used and what effects they can have on long-term and short-term subjects. To get into it, what the gist of my thesis has been so far is just basically answering three main questions that I had during that MTSU thesis day. So the first question I asked myself is, how does melanin production work in the body? How does the skin function? And how does the skin naturally darken itself with like its genome or with certain enzymes or external factors? And so I answered those three questions with about 4 sources over the summer, and they were all included in my annotated bibliography. The second question I wanted to answer is, how does tanning now relate to cancer? So a lot of my sources had to deal with statistics involving cancer research, different forms of cancer that forms from prior use of the sun, and then what potential carcinogens are found in not just UV radiation tanning, but in like home tanning remedies with different weird enzymes and chemicals that we don't normally see in nature. And what I did find was surprising. There's actually a chemical in home remedies or tanning sprays that's called DHS, and it has been labeled by the Cancer Society as a potential human carcinogen. So it's not currently known to cause cancer, but there have been some relations to it in testing that they've conducted. And so I wanted to stay clear of anything involving DHS in my experimentation and maybe ask a question about it in a survey. The third question I wanted to answer when looking for sources pertain to potential tanning breakthroughs. Current research shows that there are different ways for the skin to darken naturally without the use of DHS or UV radiation. And so that's what I kind of looked into when looking for potential breakthroughs with experimentation. And I actually found a cell report that had a certain enzyme inhibitor. It was the synthetic inhibitor that blocks off your SIK1 and SIK2 in your skin, and by doing that allows the melanin flow to ramp up in production. And I wanted to look more into this as far as experimentation goes, maybe take a different variable approach so copyright issues wouldn't be in the way. But if the big experimentation never actually worked out, I'd probably revert to surveys as far as how many people are affected by tanning and what results have come from those tanning usages. Lastly, my mentor that I've acquired so far is Miss Brenda Royal at Central Magnet. She's our AP Biology teacher, and she's amazing with resources outside of the school as far as Vanderbilt and other research institutions go. I wanted to get help from her as far as getting access to labs, like lab equipment, and of course the enzyme inhibitors that I'd be acquiring, and also access to lab animals. And while that seems kind of inhumane, using lab animals in my experimentations as a high schooler, I have gotten my lab animal certification, and I will be getting my IRB certification shortly. So that's pretty much a gist of what I've done so far on my experimentation and research with my senior thesis.